Hello, my darlings. It's ALB in Whisperland here. Thank you so much for joining me. We're doing kind of a vlog style video today. You know I love doing these. I got up really early today, and while I was getting ready, I just quickly had some cereal because what I want to do today, if you'll join me, I just want to cook delicious food all day. It's been a really busy time of year for me, and I haven't been able to really spend the time, so we're just gonna make food that I've been thinking about, laying in bed, dreaming about, and it's gonna be fun. Also, we're getting to the end of summer. My garden, which is not very impressive, but I'm proud of it, it's all ready to be harvested. We're gonna hit fall soon. It's gonna start getting really cold at night here, and I'm gonna be in this situation where if I don't use it soon, I could lose it, which I don't want to do. So let's go harvest some vegetables and do a bunch of cooking. First things first though, we need to make a cup of tea. I'm really excited about this tea. I recently went to one of my favorite places, Laundry in Toronto, and I picked up this little container of Marie Antoinette tea. It's a black tea. It has citrus and rose, pineapple, grapefruit, bunch of very good stuff, but it's a black tea, which is what I like the most. So let's go ahead and make this and then go out into the garden and get some veggies. Also, I have a sneaking suspicion / worry that it might rain today, so we're just gonna play today by ear. I'm pretty sure that they must have recently changed the packaging on this tea because it used to be in a floral box, the same shape and size, but it had flowers all over it. Gosh, this smells so good. I sometimes collect the boxes if they're particularly cute. I'm not sure if I'm gonna hold on to this bright pink one. The floral ones were so cute, they were worth holding on to. I just put little trinkets and stuff inside. If something has a cute enough box and it's like cardboard and really nice like this, I'll keep it, I try not to keep too much packaging, but something like this is just too cute to part with, I think. This is one of my favorite mugs. It was a gift, I think last year. It is a vintage Muppets Show mug with Miss Piggy. And there's a bunch of them, I guess, that came out in this series. I think they came out in the 70s. There's a Fozzie Bear one too. I mean, I love Miss Piggy. What's not to like? She is basically perfect in every way. She's a superstar, right? And right now I can't get my Trader Joe's sugar that I like the most. It's been a while since I've been to America, so I'm just using a different regular type of cane sugar that I can get here. Very excited for my next trip, whenever that will be, where I can restock on some of my Trader Joe faves. This is a really cool book. It is a cookbook. This one's a reproduction of a really old book. This one was reproduced in I think 2006 or something. It's called the Fireside Cookbook. Listen, if you are into illustration or cooking, you need to get your hands on this book. Mine was a used copy as well, and every page is illustrated, and then some read like this, you get fully illustrated pages. It actually has really good recipes though, really good. So I flip through it for inspo all the time. Good food and good drawings. Before we deep dive into doing a lot of cooking today, I want to take a quick second to thank sponsor of tonight's video, which is Manta Sleep. Longtime viewers of my channel will know I love Manta Sleep. These are incredible blackout sleep masks made of soft, breathable materials. And I'm so happy and excited about what I get to show you tonight. Look at this. Manta has taken everything I love about their sleep masks, and they have released limited edition pink colorways. These are the best sleep masks I've ever used, and now they come in pink. Because of the C-shaped cup, there is never any pressure or rubbing against your eyes or lashes. I tell all my friends who get their lashes done, the Manta sleep masks are a must-have because they protect your eyelashes, so you can just sleep with no worries. One of my friends was recently over for a sleepover, and she saw my Manta mask, and she was like, "Hey, I've seen you post about these. Can I try one tonight?" And I have a couple, so I went and got them all, and I was like, "Please, try whatever one you want." Long story short, she ordered her own the very next day. That is how much she liked it. When you need that darkness for sleep, you need a mask that really works. And that's it. These really work. And now they come in pink. You can check out all of the different sleep masks available and make your naps and big sleeps even more enjoyable by visiting Manta Sleep as well. For 10% off your order, use code WHISPERLAND at checkout. The direct link and discount code are in the description as always. Easy to find. Please check them out. It helps support this channel too. Thank you again to Manta Sleep. We're gonna need a bunch of bowls to go gather some stuff from my garden. I kind of wish I had a basket right now. You know, one of those fancy, woven, beautiful cottagecore-esque baskets. Maybe next time I'm at the thrift store I should look for that, but this will do just fine. Oh, look who it is. My little tomato knight. Yes, my little guardian is hard at work taking care of my plants. So these are my tomato plants. I probably have 13 or so of these canvas potted tomatoes. They look pretty good, right? But then there are these plants, which I planted on the exact same day, and they're the same seed. I don't know how I messed these ones up so badly. Yeah, that's right. I don't know either. They look not so good. I mean, they're growing tomatoes. They're making fruit, so I can't complain. But they're kind of like the Charlie Brown Christmas tree. They look scraggly and weird, and they look like they're dying, even though their tomatoes are gorgeous and red and perfect, and they taste really good. So, even though they're aesthetically not so nice, I'm taking this one as a win. I grew them from a seed. They produced fruit. That was my only goal. I'm very new to doing gardening. These are my chives. I think that they did quite well. I'm going to put a link in the description to the vlog where I planted all of these a couple months ago so that you can see the difference. Now these guys, I'm proud of. These are my 2 basils. I come out and prune them all the time to try to get them to grow bigger and bigger. But they are kind of at the point now where they're starting to flower, which means the plant's life cycle is getting to be over. So I really need to harvest a bunch of this very soon. I'm going to take a bunch today, but I don't know. I probably at some point need to just decide, okay, it's over, and take every leaf off the plant. I don't really have it in me today to do that, so I'm just going to take a bunch off of it and see if I can keep growing a little more. That's my dream, because I love fresh basil. It's probably one of my favorite herbs. That and rosemary. I was completely unsuccessful at growing rosemary this year. I planted a couple seeds in there with the chives. As you can see, there's no rosemary plant there. I don't know. These are my little cherry tomatoes, and I really wish that they were ripe, because that's what I actually want to eat today is cherry tomatoes, but that's okay. I can't make them ripen. They have to do it in their own time. By the way, this cat is not mine. This is Lucifer, my neighbor's cat. And I'm so grateful and in love with him. Before I knew it was my neighbor's cat, I had slowly befriended him over the course of like 6 months. And I was ready to adopt him. And we took him to the vet, and he was chipped. He had a family, which was great. But now he just spends all day in my backyard, and I feed him and I cuddle him for hours every day. I love him. It's kind of making me start to think that I really want to have a pet again one day. I don't know if I'm actually ready, but my heart feels so open for that, and I love him so much. He's the best. He's just so sweet and soft and gentle, my good boy. Alright, we gotta give all this a good wash. Even though it's just from my garden, I don't use pesticides or anything like that. I don't even know I don't know how to do that. So it's just from my garden, but there can be dirt, debris, or like little critters, anything, I'm pretty on the ball looking at my plants, and if there's anything weird on a leaf, I just prune it. So I'm not too worried about this, but I'm going to soak the basil in cold water for like 10 minutes and give these tomatoes a good wash. Don't they look so bright and cheerful? There's something about fresh tomatoes, right picked from the garden. It totally reminds me of my childhood. My parents always had like 1 or 2 tomato plants going at a time. So I'm just washing all of these leaves pretty thoroughly before laying them flat to dry. I'm just going to let these dry while I cook this next part. They'll air dry on their own as long as they're like on a nice little tea towel. Do you guys do this? I need to know. I seem to not be able to get rid of tea towels until they're literally falling apart. If they have holes, I'll hold on to them, doesn't matter. But like they have to literally be disintegrating in my hands before I'll toss them. Alright, let's start with the next part of the meal. A key component is this rosewood hot honey. By the way, I'm using this bowl because you guys always comment that you love it. The bowl with the cherries on it. So now I'm like, well, I have to use this bowl. We've got our tomatoes, and I don't know if I'm going to use all of them. Double brie, and this is just a pizza mozzarella. Actually, I think a different kind of mozzarella would probably be better for this recipe, but the pizza mozzarella is what was on sale, so that's what we're doing. Honeycrisp apple, red onion, and I'm just gonna wear gloves while we're doing this part of the chopping because the onion smell sometimes can like stick to your hands. And I have long nails on right now, so why not just avoid it? Look at this beautiful little like circle of cheese. It's so perfect and round. We don't need the whole thing. I'm just gonna cut half today because I'm kind of making like a fresh salad. So I just want some cute little hunks of chewy, delicious mozzarella. I feel like a halloumi would also be good for this, especially if it was like fried so that the salty part comes out. But this will work just fine. Just cutting it into cubes and I'll them in the bowl. And then now I have my gorgeous tomatoes. There's something about homegrown tomatoes. They do feel different. Like even just cutting them, there's not as much like give under the skin. They just feel very, very like firm and juicy. I actually never used to like tomatoes. Into my like mid-20s, I maintained I don't like tomatoes, but I always like try new things all the time. I'm one of those people where I'll try it, but I might not like it, and I have to be okay with not liking it. Eventually, after enough times of just trying them, I started to actually really like tomatoes. They wouldn't be my go-to over, there's other veggies and fruits that I like a lot more, but tomatoes have become a special place in my heart, especially because I love how the vines smell. Like when you touch a tomato plant, this little film gets on your fingers and it smells so good. Alright, so this red onion, we don't need very much of it. I'm just going to cut off a little corner and we'll save the rest for another day. This is a really beautiful onion. A lot of the times at the store, the red onions are just inexplicably huge. But I found this nice, cute little one, and I thought, well, that's just perfect for us. I'm just finely chopping the onion. Personally, when it comes to having onions in salad, I like it to be minced very, very delicately into really, really tiny pieces, very fine pieces. I think I've talked about this before, but I don't really have a ton of memories of my grandmother, but my strongest memory of her is she would cut all food extremely small, minced very, very fine, and she would say the smaller and nicer you cut it, the more love is in it. So I've definitely internalized that. Picking out some large leaves of the basil because I want to use them in this little salad dish as well. There's some really big ones in here and they smell great. To chop them, I'm definitely going to have to take these gloves off. I'm just arranging them loosely in order of size. So I'll put the biggest one on the bottom and try to approximately move up in size, making my way all the way to the smallest leaf. This is going to make it a lot easier to cut them in a chiffonade sort of style. So you have them all stacked like this and then very, very tightly roll them until they're in this little cute tube shape. And then you can just chop them from one side to the other very fine, and it creates these lovely, gorgeous little like ribbons of basil, which is a lovely texture. They're just sort of little gorgeous ribbons inside your salad. They wind their way around other things like cheese, and it's a really nice like different textural sensation. So I love cutting basil like that. I do it for so many things. The rest of this basil we are going to use, but not until later today, not until dinner time. So I'm just going to dry it as thoroughly as I can and just put it in these bowls to save for later. We can have that with dinner. So one more thing I'm going to make for the salad is just a little bit of like pearl couscous. I'm going to make the whole package, but I'll probably only end up putting like half a cup into the salad. But this is a good thing to have in the fridge, in my opinion. This is when I get into like super meal prep mode, if I just have this already made in the fridge, I can like cut up some vegetables or whatever and just add couscous to it so easily. So this is really easy to make if you've never made it. It's easier than rice even. You literally just pour it into some hot water, some oil, and maybe a little broth, and then you just cover it, and it cooks really, really well on low heat. Now we need some spices for the salad. I'm gonna do black pepper, oregano, obviously. We'll do this citrus garlic from Trader Joe's, and maybe a little garlic powder too. It doesn't hurt. So to start everything off, I'm going to use a little bit of olive oil, and we'll go ahead and add our spices in too. I would love if I had fresh oregano, but sadly I do not right now. That is one of the few herbs that I did not grow this year. I've had luck with some others. I've got thyme going and sage, so those are going to come in handy in the fall for cooking, you know, like chicken pot pie and stuff like that. But yeah, no oregano for me. Alright, let's combine all of this. Now you can probably see there's a lot of liquid in the bottom of this from the tomato juices. When they're such big tomatoes, they do release a lot of juices. That's why I was kind of thinking cherry tomatoes would be better for this, but this is what I have, so we're making do. But that's one of the benefits of the couscous. It's gonna soak up all of the juices from the tomato, or you know, whatever is a little extra, and it just adds a really good, excellent texture. You see all the different shapes that you get in this? It's like really pleasing to eat food like this, I think. Okay, bread time. Now I just have this loaf from my grocery store bakery. It is not like a gorgeous, crunchy French bread. I wish it was the kind that you can keep in the fridge, but I mean that's okay for me because we're just going to be putting this in the oven anyway and making it nice and crispy, so it doesn't have to be the fancy bread. For me, this is okay to have as a lunch, you know. I think maybe in a past life I was a bread slicer because I am able to consistently space my slices very well for some reason, in a way I can't do for other foods. But apparently I understand what size bread slices need to be. There's always this one little piece of the bread that's just the end part, and it doesn't have very much on it, and it's awkward sized, and some people throw it away, but I refuse to. I feel bad for it. I've personified the little like tush end of this bread, and I can't just toss it. I have to figure out a cute version to make of it. Cut up this honey crisp. Once again, I don't need the whole thing for this recipe, so I'll just tuck the rest to the side. I eat honestly like an apple every day or every other day. They're just so easy for me to eat because I never just eat them like a regular person. I always cut them up in slices, and then I just sit at my desk and work and eat them. They have a very satisfying crunch. Okay, I need you guys to know that this crunching of the wax parchment paper and then putting water on it is something that I learned from the comments on one of my other videos. I used to use aluminum foil to roast stuff in the oven, and a lot of you were saying like, hey, try scrunching up parchment paper, really, crunch it, and then run it under water, and then put it on the pan. It will mold perfectly, and then it won't burn. And I was like, okay, I'll listen to you guys. I'll give it a shot. And ever since I tried that, that is what I do every time. See how I made a little room for that little bread piece. It's gonna be perfect. Double cream brie. We're doing a lot of different cheeses. I'm realizing. Like, I like to eat cheese, and this is the size of the bread it's gonna go on, so this will be kind of our measuring guide. Just put that other piece of cheese to the side here. We'll really just need this little piece because we're gonna do lovely thin slices of this double cream brie. Just arranging them on the little toasts that we're making. I guess we need a little piece for this tiny one. It's so cute. Okay, into the oven these go, really for just a couple minutes. I just want the bread to get a bit warm and for the cheese to be lovely and melty. I have a little bit of prosciutto here that I'm going to cut into very tiny pieces. I don't typically buy prosciutto, so I went to the deli counter and I was like, what is the smallest amount that you can give me? Because you can buy this in packages, but I knew I would only eat it for this particular meal. So I was like, what's the smallest amount you could give me? And they said 25 grams. So that's what I got. We don't need much for this. Alright, time to arrange things. So we're going to do on top of the gorgeous melted brie cheese, very thin, honey crisp apple slices. I tried to cut them as thinly as I could so that the texture is satisfying when you bite into them. So we'll lay that on top of the melted cheese. And then on top of the apple, I'm just putting small pieces of the prosciutto. This is just to add a richness. I love making little, I guess this is almost like an appetizer dish for a meal, but I love doing that. A little arugula on top of that. Arugula that is so peppery, and it can be a little bit bitter, but that's gonna balance out the sweetness and the richness. Now it's time for rosewood hot honey. Look at this. It's golden. It's glorious. It actually is quite a bit spicy, but because it's a sweet heat, it's not overpowering. It's gorgeous. I recommend it highly. Alright, let's plate everything. I'm so excited about this. We'll do a little bit for me and a little bit for Nico. She is working, but the least I can do is make her a little lunch and bring it to her while she's working hard. I don't really have a plan for this plating arrangement, but I'll try to make it look cute. Since we have this basil sitting right here, I'm going to take just a couple of the small leaves and put them on top, sort of decoratively. But technically, since they are a part of the meal, they're serving a purpose beyond just decoration. And here's our little apple, hot honey, brie, prosciutto, arugula bites. I don't really have a good name for these, but they're finger food. They're delicious, and I cannot wait to try this. I have not made either of these things before, but I feel like they go together pretty well. At least that's what I'm going to tell myself. I like a colorful meal though, so let's try this salad. I'm gonna get a bite with as many things. It's really good. I feel like it needs something else though, actually. Yes, balsamic glaze is exactly what it needs. Sometimes you just know. I think in my head I was always going to put this in, but I obviously forgot. It's not too late though. It's never too late to add another ingredient to your meal, I think. Yep. That's what what it needed. Alright, let's try these little bites, these little bread bites. Gosh, these smell so good. Let's try. Okay, wow, that is really good. It's all really yummy, the salad too. But these little bread bites, they're really good. I can't get enough. I know I only put 3 on my plate, but I'm gonna go back and get more. If you make anything from this video, you should make these bites. These are really good. I highly recommend them. I think I would make them for like a party too. I'm rewatching Beetlejuice because I'm pretty sure next week I'm gonna go see the sequel, and it's been at least a year since I've seen the first one. Of course, it's a mainstay, and every Halloween season I watch it at least once, maybe a couple of times, but I need a refresher if I'm gonna go see the sequel, you know. I'll have to finish it up later though, because I want to get started on dinner now. Kind of doing something a little different for dinner. It's not going to be an easy one. Let's give everything a little quick tidy because those tomatoes were kind of messy. The juices did go all over the counter, so good to disinfect everything. So I'm going to try making pesto for the very first time today. I've never made this before. I always just buy pesto, but you know what? I have all this basil. Like, I really should make pesto, you know. Luckily, I have a freezer full to the brim of garlic, so I don't have to chop any garlic for the foreseeable future. Probably every 2 months, I do a ton of garlic in the food processor and just freeze it all. I think we did garlic together in a meal prep before, but we go through it because we really like garlic here. Now, traditionally, pesto, from what I understand, would have either pine nuts or cashews in the base of the sauce, but I don't have those, so I'm going to try using almonds because I have these unsalted almonds. I'm like, I don't know, almonds taste good. Why not try it? I might be totally ruining this, but I'm going to give it a try based on what I have in my house right now. But what I do know is that almonds are very tough, like hard exterior of a nut, so I need to blanch them first. I'm going to boil a little bit of water and just blanch them for a minute or 2. I've blanched almonds before for making like desserts and stuff like that. It's actually really easy. You just pour the boiling water on top and give them like a nice stir so that all the boiling water is really circulating through them. You want to make sure that all of the almonds are really getting like heated thoroughly. This really separates them from the skins, which I don't really want the almond skins in my pesto. Now, it needs to have a quick dash of cold water so that I can actually touch them because they're very hot. But look, see how easily they pop right out from the skin? If you ever need to like bake with almonds, just blanch them. It's so easy. So it's like, not too many almonds, but I think half a cup or so. And I've got my lemons. You guys are gonna be so happy. I have a lemon juicer now, but I really can't take any credit for this. I'll admit, I can't take any credit. One of my best friends actually bought this for me because she was watching one of my ASMR vlogs and saw that I did not have a lemon juicer, and she was like, you need one, and she secretly bought it for me and didn't tell me, and she shipped it to my house. Is that not amazing? I love her for that. That's the kind of thing where it's such a good surprise. I wish I had come up with it because I love surprising people with gifts. These lemons are really big, so I have to take a actually make these lemon halves fit in the juicer. Now, when you look at this juicer, tell me what you think. In my head, the lemons are supposed to go in the opposite way, but I read the instructions very thoroughly, and they do say it shouldn't like match the crescent moon shape of the juicer. It should be against it so that it pushes all the juice out. It actually works incredibly well, but every time I juice a lemon with this, I'm like, this does not seem right. This seems weird, like I'm doing it wrong. But, you know, it works. Well, it works better for people with more upper body strength. For me, it's a little bit tough. That's not where I keep my strong in my arms, but that's okay. I can still manage it. I'll give this a little wipe because I don't want lemon juice to seep into my cutting board. It's good to keep cleaning as you go when it comes to cooking, I think anyway. Now, this needs lots of Parmesan. I know what you're thinking. ALB, there's been so much cheese here. Yeah, I know, because that's what's good in this life. This is a really cool grater because the container that fits right underneath it becomes a perfect fridge storage container. So you don't have to use all of what you grate if you can't, but don't worry. I can. I'm very good at that. I love like how satisfying it is to grate Parmesan because it's a very like low moisture cheese. It doesn't get stuck all along the grater. It just goes right in. Alright, we have everything we need, so let's get to blending. We'll start with the garlic. Because I took it out earlier, it's all defrosted. It defrosts in like 5 minutes. Seriously. Blend a bunch of garlic. You will thank me later. We're going to put in a bunch of olive oil. You actually need quite a bit of olive oil for this. I think it's like half a cup or so, maybe a little less. Next, I'm going to pour in the lemon juice. I think I'm just going to use all of the lemon juice that we created. It's probably a little more than the recipe called for, but that's okay. Our blanched almonds and, of course, all of the glorious Parmesan. Now, I love black pepper, so I'm doing a lot of black pepper, but I'm not going to do very much salt, just like a couple rotations because I don't like things to be super salty. I don't really cook too much with salt as often, so I tend to be very sensitive towards it. I'll think that things are salty way before anybody else. I love watching a bunch of leaves get shredded in the food processor. I don't know why. It's just really satisfying to me that they start as like huge leaves and then they turn to just tiny little itty bitty pieces and I didn't have to do anything. The machine does it. But of course I'm going to go in and scrape the sides at least once so that everything gets truly blended together. It's tasting pretty good though, I gotta say. Maybe a little more black pepper. Doesn't hurt. And let's blend that up a little bit more. The green color of this is so gorgeous to me. The smell, I wish you could smell this right now. It's a very basil-y green, like very green smell, but it's a bright smell. It smells very fresh. I think the lemon is making it smell extra fresh and very it just kind of has a summer smell, which is sort of bittersweet because it's getting cold out. But I'm going to put the lid on that just for now, just because basil has a tendency to oxidize at room temperature, and with the air touching it, it can turn like a less beautiful color, let's say. Now, I want to get started on the pasta because I'm getting pretty hungry. We'll fill up a big pot with water, and of course, we gotta add some salt. I do salt my water for pasta a lot because I want to flavor the pasta. I'm gonna be using like a linguine noodle. I like that more than spaghetti personally, although I do love like super ultra thin like angel hair pasta as well. And we'll give that a little stir so that nothing sticks. Somebody once told me it's most important to stir your pasta in the first 2 minutes once you put it on so that it doesn't stick to the bottom. Into my sink, I'm putting a little Pyrex to catch excess pasta water so we can cook with it just on top of, or rather underneath the strainer. Okay, let's get this pasta heating up with the pesto in first. I'm not going to use all of it, probably 2/3, I think, just because I'm going to add pasta water here and it's going to become nice and gorgeous and creamy as it heats up. The heat is going to like start activating the garlic really nicely, but also combining the pasta water with it, it's going to have like more longevity. It's going to be able to cover more noodles. Now this is not a necessity. It's not traditional from what I understand, but I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of heavy cream, just a little bit, because I like that extra richness. I'm making, pesto with my own homegrown basil. This needs to be the creme de la creme. It needs to be the best that it can be to honor my basil. I'm going to add in the noodles. They're getting everywhere. It's fine. It's okay. Good thing this isn't being recorded. Alright, we'll combine these together. I don't want to leave them on too long because the noodles are going to start absorbing the pasta water and it's just going to keep thickening and thickening. Let's serve this up. Okay, for me, I get the little flower bowl. It's my very special bowl. It was a birthday gift, so I like using this one for me. Of course, a little extra Parmesan on top. You know how we do it. It's delicious. It's good for me. I have to have it. Quite a lot, actually. And now we will do Nico's serving. Gorgeous. Now, she likes things spicy. So I'm going to go ahead and add Parmesan first. And then a little bit of red pepper flakes. She loves red pepper flakes on everything. Even though I don't want red pepper flakes on mine, I want to make it how she likes it, I've taken to getting red pepper flakes in bulk now and just refilling the spice container because we go through them. Alright, I'm going to try to do kind of a like fancy drink. I don't know if it's going to be successful. We are doing grapefruit juice right in the bottom with some ice. And then I have this grapefruit seltzer that I'm going to put on top. I was kind of hoping this would be a gradient, but it's not really doing any gradient. Oh, maybe a little bit. It's kind of brighter at the bottom. It's fine. It didn't turn out exactly what I wanted, but that's okay. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to try this. Cheers, you guys. Thanks for cooking with me. Let's give this a little swirl and a go. It's actually really good. It's not fancy looking, but it's delicious tasting. Okay, pesto. Give me your pesto. Oh, it's good. It's really good. The almonds, I think, are slightly grittier of a texture than I want, but it's actually great. The basil is so good. I mean, you put basil and garlic and cheese in anything, I'll love it. I'll have no complaints. Love. This was really good. I'm glad that there's more, actually. before I get too deep into this movie, I'm gonna do a little tidying up, do a little cleaning. My least favorite part of cooking, but you know, you have to do a little hand washing from time to time. I have big plans for tonight, but first I'm gonna show you some recent finds. These are the first Halloween things that I bought this year, and I thought that you would really like to see them actually. So, old pajamas. These are actually all from the men's section at Old Navy. These are little like boxer shorts. I like to wear these as pajamas. They've got little ghosts, but they're like a chocolate brown, so it's kind of cute. These are just a regular skeleton, black skeleton shorts. Simple, but we love it. And then look at these. Oh my gosh. We have jack-o'-lantern shorts. There's like a face on here that is exactly like Jack Skellington, and I don't really like that one as much. But there's like a classic pumpkin on here, which is so cute. I love that one. They were all on sale like 40% off, so I had to grab them. But these pants, oh, these are my joy. I love these so much. They are flannel, so they're going to be really nice for fall, but how cute is this print? It's like little checkerboard, and then we've got all the details of the bat, the ghost, the spider web. Just super cute, gorgeous pajamas. I'm going to go put these on. I'll show you what they look like. I do not have a matching shirt for these. I just bought the pants, so choosing the pussycat shirt. I mean, it kind of goes in its own way, but these are going to be my pajamas all fall. I feel really cute in them. I haven't found much other Halloween stuff yet this season, but that's okay. I have boxes of my decorations that are waiting for me, ready to spark joy. My favorite part of this year is starting. I get to put up all my old favorites, decorations, things that I've been gathering basically my entire life, because I buy, one or two things every year. So each thing is very special, and every single thing I unpack has fantastic memories. I hope that you all enjoy your fall season upcoming. We have lots of good stuff to look forward to, because we can make our own holidays fun and make our own traditions too. I can't wait to see what the season unfolds. Until next time, bye my darling.